Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ethan's Maths. And today we are going to go over some statistics. No, not biscuits, you donut. I mean statistics. These ones here. Right, so how do we get started, eh, Ethan? Ethan, how do I get stuck into these juicy statistics? Well, listen up, people, because I've got the answers for you. So this is an example taken from a bit of homework that I was given, and basically it gives you two data samples, and it tells you to calculate the mean, median, and standard deviation of each of the two samples. So here we're going to ignore teacher 2 and just work with teacher 1 for now. So cast your mind back to GCSE. Maybe you're in GCSE now, and that's all good. So you can listen up for this too, because it's very, very useful for you. So you do to find the median, you'd normally do how many bits of data in that data set. You divide it by 2, which is so in this case it's 8 divided by 2, which is 4. And if it's a whole number, you go to to halfway between that and the next piece of data. So here it's between this one, 13 and 83. So you do 83 minus 13.5, which is 69.5, and that would be the median. And you might be wondering why it's 13.5, and that's just because 13.5 is kind of like the upper bound of what it could be. It's quite strange there, I know. Anyway, right, the mean. Everyone knows, everyone and their dog knows how to do a mean, eh? And here I don't have the sigma, so I just used an E for the sigma, and that just means everything in X. So everything in teacher 1 added up is 412. You divide it by 8, which is like n, the number of bits of data, and that gives you 51.5, and that is the mean. Now, this is going on to A-level stuff now, so you GCSE kiddies might want to cover your ears. To find the standard deviation, first you've got to find the variant, and the formula for that is everything in x squared over n minus everything in x over n all squared. So if you want to do everything in x squared, it's not 412 squared. It would be each piece of data, and you square each one and add them together as you go along. Otherwise, you'll get a completely different number, and it won't be the right one, which is what we want. We all want the right number. So yeah, you just chuck it into that formula, and you get that, and that's the variant. Now, to get the standard deviation, all you need to do is square root that, because the variant's just the standard deviation squared. So that would be 32.4. And what the standard deviation is the Ooh, check it out, guys. Whoa, whoa, that looks cool. I'm sticking with that. I'm sticking with that. Tell me what. Let me know what you guys think of that new heading in the comments. So standard deviation is basically just how far away your data is from the average data. So if there's a higher standard deviation, then your results will be more spread out. So now might be getting a little bit more complex than that. Ethan, how could it possibly get even worse? Well, I'm about to show you. So linear interpolation, and you can use this to find the mean, the upper bound and lower bound, and stuff like that. So I've written up an equation here, but it's not very good. So I wouldn't recommend following it, since you're better off just remembering sort of what to do. So say we've got a little bit of data, and the total frequency of all that data is 30. When we find, so we just find the median like normal, and you can plus one if you want, but you know it's optional really. It doesn't really matter. I don't think the examiners care, because it won't make much difference to your answer. But you know, might want to plus one if you're feeling a little bit more adventurous. So yeah, and then we get 15.5 as a median, and say the median is in the class 1619, right? So and so the lower boundary of that class is 16, and the class width is 3 because 19 minus 16. The frequency up to that class is 13. So the classes before that had an accumulative frequency of 13, and the frequency in the 1916 class is just 9. So we can put this into the formula over here. We've already done this bit up here to get 15.5, so we can just take that out, and we do lower bound, which is 16, plus 15.5 minus the frequency up to that group, which is 13, divided by how many in that group, which is 9, and you times it by the class width, which is 3, and you will get 16.83 as the median. So that's just another way to work out the median. Could be useful in future. You can also do this for the upper quartile and the lower quartile, and you do it in exactly the same way, but instead of dividing it by 2, to find the upper quartile you times it by 3/4, and to find the lower quartile you divide it by 4. And yeah, that is the entirety of statistics. Good luck in your exams, everyone. Bye bye.